Hey you guys, welcome back. I have a new video for you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about cards. I have my decks with me right here. I'm going to show them to you and talk to you a little bit more about using them. Now, I'm not affiliated with anybody. Each deck is from a different person, or, you know, if there's a collaboration. I'm not affiliated with Amazon. I'm not affiliated with any of these people. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the cards. Maybe you want to get a deck of cards, or maybe you got a new deck of cards and you're not entirely sure what you should do with them or how to use them. So we're going to talk about that. Now, there's several things to consider. I know in one of my previous videos I talked about, you know, how to choose a deck, how to figure out what you like, you know, what catches your eye, that kind of thing. So I have 4 decks, all Oracle decks, and they're all completely different. And you'll find with Oracle decks, the cards can go anywhere from, say, there's 44. Like mine here, for example, I have one that's 68, one that's 49, one that's 65, and one's that's 52. So with Oracle decks, it can really vary. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's still what you like. So my first deck that I'm going to show you is by Colette Baron-Reid. It is the Spirit Animal Oracle, and I'm going to show these to you, and I'm pretty sure I got all these off of Amazon, so if you see a deck that you're interested in and you want to know, where do I get it, Helga? This is where you'll get it. So I'm just going to show you what the front looks like, and I absolutely love, like, I love the decks that I have. So I'm going to take them out and show you a little bit. Now, most of them, all the decks I have come with a guidebook, except for one. You will come across this where sometimes you'll have cards that all the information is actually on the card and you don't need a guidebook, or so it doesn't come with one. This one has a nice thick guidebook to go into very detailed, explain exactly what every card, what the message is, what it means. Now, just so you have a look, because I did say before that I don't buy cards without getting to see what they look like front and back, because I need to know if I'm really going to like it. This is what the back looks like. Okay, so they all look the same on that side. Now, when you actually get into the cards, they're very cool, actually. Like for example, just so you can see some of the artwork, because I know for me, I need to see it. I need to see it before I commit to buying. Just show a few more. Oh, here's some brown bear one. I really like the artwork on this one, and it does have some little bit of a message on each card as well. Plus, you've got your book, and it's so many animals. Ooh, the chameleon, that one's pretty cool looking. Just so you get a little bit of an idea of how, you know, they look. So now maybe you have a deck of cards, or you know, maybe you got it in the mail, maybe you haven't opened it yet because you don't know what to do with it. So this is, everybody does things a little differently, but I'm going to explain how I do it when I use my cards. I like to clear them before I use them, and you should. Some people will say use them, clear them, put them away, and then clear them again before they use them the following time. Now that can be done by that's where your sage comes in, your singing bowl comes in. Maybe you want to use crystals to clear them. There's several different ways you can do that. Now, and some people, depending on, not everybody does this, but some people like to wake their cards up a bit. They might give them a little tap, or they'll knock on them once they're ready to use them. And then make sure, and again, like I said before with Oracle cards, to get the best results, don't ask for a yes or no, don't ask a yes or no question. Say something like, well, what would the outcome be if I made this decision? Say you're torn between a couple things, and then you could do it. You say, well, what would the outcome be if I, you know, this decision? Sometimes a lot of people just use, like, I know for me now, most of the time I use the cards for myself. I don't really use cards in my readings anymore, because my my psychic mediumship has gotten so into, like, I don't feel the need for the cards anymore, and I've just kind of been pulled away that that's not supposed to be what I'm pursuing. I mean, I will pull them out once in a while, but mostly they're for my own personal use. And then The other thing you'll notice, like a lot of decks are different sizes. Like just for an example, and you might want to, and usually in the ads, they'll show you at least the dimensions of the box, so you'll know what size your cards are approximately. Sometimes they're smaller, sometimes they are bigger. I'm just going to quickly show you a second deck of mine because they are, and put them side by side, they are substantially bigger. They're longer. And so it can be a little more tricky, like if you have small hands or, you know. So with this, I mean, I just will, I mean, I wish I could do that fancy, you know, Vegas card shuffling thing, but I don't know how to do that. So, you know, I just usually will shuffle them. Sometimes when you're focusing on what you want to know, like when you have your question, as I said, focus on that. Sometimes you will feel I should stop shuffling. Or what I like to do, and I mean, there's no right or wrong with that. I like to wait for some cards to kind of pop out or come flying out, and that's how I go about it. Some people will just shuffle and go, okay, that feels right, I'll stop now, and then deal whatever cards. So anyway, that's how you do that. And if you find, like for example, I'll show you the second deck that I was just holding up, because this deck is a little different in... This is called, where did I put the top? The Chakra Insight Oracle by Karen Sangster. Apologize if I said that wrong. That's what the box looks like. Okay. Now here's the thing. With these ones, these are the biggest cards I have. You've got a guidebook again with it, but if you look, the box is a little bit bigger because the book is bigger, but the cards are a little bit smaller. But these are the biggest deck I have. Now what I would suggest, it doesn't mean if it's a bigger deck and you have small hands, you can't get it. But what I would suggest is if you do have, you know, normally you would, you know, shuffle like this. If you have trouble with that, I would recommend shuffling them sideways, because if you're, you know, that might just be, just to do it this way. This might be a little easier for you if you, say, have trouble shuffling them sideways. Now, what these cards look like, that is so beautiful. All the chakras and the colors there. Now these again are absolutely, the artwork is gorgeous. I love these. I'm just in love with these cards. Oh, better not show you that one. Let me see here. Let me find one that's really got a lot of color. Okay, for example, this one. That's such a beautiful card. The one I couldn't show you, like there's a woman on it that isn't fully clothed entirely, so I better not show you that. Ooh, and here, this one's beautiful. Lion. And again, these ones also have some wording on it, so it gives you an idea of what the cards are about. Oh, and I love this one, the love with the puppy dog on it. I really love that one. And let me find one more. And this one's kind of like a hope, but you know, there's animals, there's different things, but they're quite beautiful. But anyway, that's the deck, and that's a 49 deck. That first one was that 68 was the first one. So the next deck I have is a deck by John Holland. It's called the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck. John Holland. And I love this deck as well. This one is a larger 65 card deck. Also comes with guidebook. This also has very beautiful artwork. I love these because the edges are gold, which, ooh, hope I'm not glaring you too much there. This is what the backs of the cards look like. I just love the green. The green's like your heart chakra. And then you've got different messages on the cards again. You've got your nurture. This one says release. There's ones about healing. Like, this is a good deck, I find, for not just specifically relationships, but it does talk about, it does kind of touch on some when you look through some of the cards. But again, the artwork is just lovely, and that's another deck of mine that I just love it. It works well for me, and sometimes you might find you get a deck, sometimes you might not be feeling it. I've had that happen, and then what ended up happening was that I ended up gifting them to someone else because they were meant to be someone else's cards and not mine. The final deck that I have, and this one's a little blunt, I guess is the good message. The Power of Surrender Cards by Judith Orloff. Okay, and I really like, this is the deck that has a teeny tiny little instruction thing, but because all the writing is on the cards, there's no actual guidebook. Now, this is what the cards look like, which is beautiful. I just absolutely love that. And then each card will say like what you need to surrender. For example, this one says surrender comparisons with other people. And then you have the write-up on the bottom that explains what the card means. So this is nice if you, say don't want to fumble with a guidebook. There are some decks out there that don't come with guidebooks that are a little bit easier. But again, there's certain things that it might call you out on. For example, if you're stubborn, this is like surrender stubbornness. There's also this one, that surrender worry. Here's another good one, surrender your ego. Sometimes that one's a little tricky. But anyway, as you can see, beautiful artwork for all 4 of these decks. Again, oh, and these ones, I like these too because they're silver on the side. I don't know, they just seem so fancy. But they're very pretty. And again, that's kind of how you use the cards. And I suggest that once you're done, you clear them, put them away. And I'd clear them again when you go to use them. If you're going to give readings to people, even if you're just practicing, clear them in between people. Also do that, because you want to make sure that you're focusing on the person's energy and the question that, or questions that you have for the deck. So, and again, you can use these for yourself. You don't have to read somebody else. I know lots of people who have their decks, and a lot of times they'll just use them for themselves. Just, if you're struggling with something, or if you're a little confused or not really sure what to do, they'll consult the cards. And on a final note, I just want to say, tomorrow night is the full moon. February 27th, 2021, full moon. I've talked to many, many people who are struggling energetically. This one is very strong. Even myself, sleep has been hard to get. But anyway, this too shall pass. I hope that was helpful. And again, if you like any of those decks, pretty sure I got them all on Amazon. And again, I'm not affiliated with them or anyone else. I'm just a client like everybody else. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.